So if you've been to the initial sales meeting, sales presentation, you became an owner or a member, can be used interchangeably, and now you're coming for your orientation vacation, then this is the video you need to watch, especially if you want to know what to expect out of that meeting. Channel. My name is Suzette Vearnon, and I am redefining my 60s on my own terms and hoping that by doing so, it'll make you inspired to do the same. So today, which you all can notice, I have on the same outfit I had probably in the previous video because I'm catching up on my travel videos. I've gone various places, and I'm so sorry that it's taken me this long to do a travel video. But hey, it's around the Christmas season. It's cold. We're in the double digits, but it feels like the single digits outside. So that was a wonderful time to catch up and bring you all up to date on what's been going on. My husband and I have been traveling. We have become Hilton Grand Vacation members. Yes, we have. And we are in the early stages of finding out exactly what it is that makes this, being a part of this club or this membership, different from being a outright Hilton Honors member. Just we're in that stage of figuring things out. And in that stage of figuring things out, I was on YouTube looking specifically for information about the new member orientation meeting, the orientation vacation that we had booked when we purchased our membership. So because our initial membership meeting was so long, we wanted to be better prepared for this orientation meeting going in. Now, the initial sales presentation that we agreed to when we were originally approached, which my previous video talks in more detail about, we were previously approached by Hilton Grand Vacations to go on a promotional vacation in exchange for us attending a 90-minute sales presentation, which would include a tour, a presentation, and a tour. Okay, we agreed to that. I talk in detail about the property that we stayed at in my review about the DoubleTree, Myrtle Beach. You'll want to definitely look at that review because it was very informative, and I think it was useful to get somebody talking about a recent experience. A lot of times these reviews are 2, 3, 4 years old. Ours was as early as September of 2025. So if you're like me, I look for recent reviews, okay? And likewise with these sales meetings, these sales presentations, and if you are currently a Hilton Vacation Club member, the orientation vacation. Now, the orientation vacation is the one that after you have become a member, they sign you up for a vacation on them. It's usually a weekend, and you agree to 60 minutes where you talk to them about any questions that you have or anything like that. any questions that you have. Let me cut this TV off again. In the previous video, you'll see where my TV kept right on coming on while I was talking. I cut it off this time. But where you bring any questions that you have, they go over your contract with you, they officially welcome you, they get you acclimated as a new member so that you are aware of things. You learn your way around things. And we were like, oh, that's great. This is so wonderful. Sign us up. So I'm talking about that meeting they signed us up for, where they would talk to us about our contract, answer any questions, that kind of thing, about our membership, that kind of thing. So that's the one I'm talking about. So if you've been to the initial sales meeting, sales presentation, you became an owner or a member, can be used interchangeably, and now you're coming for your orientation vacation, then this is the video you need to watch, especially if you want to know what to expect out of that meeting. Okay? My experience of the meeting was pretty much on point. I was glad I did my due diligence. I did my research. I could not find a specific video on YouTube that went into detail about the orientation meeting, but they did say, be prepared. They're going to try to sell you something, whether it's an upgrade, more points. They're going to try to sell you some product while you're there. So have your questions so that you can try to get your questions answered, but be aware they're going to try to upgrade you or sell to you in some way. So in a lot of ways, people have said they call it an orientation vacation, but baby, it is a sales meeting. Okay? So be prepared for it. Now, a sales meeting is not necessarily bad because you may find the upgrade would be beneficial to you. For us, we had just become members in September. Our orientation vacation was the first weekend in December. So we were newbies. The only thing that we had done was we had gotten a bonus, or one of the incentives of becoming owners/members of Hilton Grand Vacations was a Hilton signature vacation. That was one of the incentives. So the only thing that we had done is we had set up our Hilton signature vacation. Other than that, we had not done anything. Okay? We had not really, I had skimmed the contract, but I had not thoroughly read the contract. And the reason I had not thoroughly read the contract is because I thought at the orientation meeting, they were going to give a deeper dive, help me to interpret the terms a little bit better and all that. Now, I did have a few questions from the things that I had skimmed that I had questions about, but I had not read the whole contract because, to be honest, sometimes you don't understand. You don't understand the difference between a club point, a bonus point, a Hilton honors point, and what their value is and when you can use them. You don't know about the different seasons, whether you're in a gold season or whether it's open season. You're reading those things, but you don't truly understand it because you are a new owner. And so for me, I skimmed the contract, and the things that I was able to make out, I made it out enough to be able to ask for questions to get more clarity. But to understand the lay of the land, the lingo, what is it was attributable to, how it played out in the grand scheme of things, I didn't understand it. There almost needed to be a training class, a master class about understanding your contract. And we thought, at least I thought, this was going to be a truncated version where we get to sit down with somebody for 60 minutes. They could answer our questions and really break down our membership specific to us in a way that would make us leave feeling more informed and more ready to just enjoy all the benefits of being Hilton Grand Vacation Club owners. That is not what happened. And I'm going to read to you a post that I made in a Facebook group that I highly recommend you to join. It is called the HGV Max Strategies, Vacation Boldly Facebook group. It is a great group. It is a group of HGV Max members, owners, people who have timeshares with the Hilton. Very great group. As a matter of fact, I wish I had been a member of this group before going to my orientation. They fill in the blanks very well. They're friendly. They don't talk down to you. They're people who've been owners for a while. Very kind, very honest. They don't try to sugarcoat things. They keep it real. I love this group. And so almost immediately after I became a member of this group, I posted because I wanted the different members, again, to have a current experience so they could be prepared when they go to this orientation vacation. This, where the only thing you have to do is sit down for 60 minutes and get a great orientation about your membership. Right? That's what I thought it was going to be. This is actually what happened. Okay? I titled it HGVC New Members Orientation Vacation. So if you become a part of the Facebook group, in the little search box within the group, just put in New Member Orientation Vacation and my post will come up. This is how I said it. I could try to do it off the top of my head, but I think this is more concise. That's the reason I'm going to read it to you, okay? Having found our initial sales presentation extremely long, my husband and I decided to be more prepared for this meeting. When I say extremely long, our initial sales presentation, we weren't owners then. We just came for the promotional offer we got. Okay? The 90-minute sales presentation. The original one where they show you the property, you get the little PowerPoint spiel and everything, and they talk to you about becoming a member or an owner. That meeting was 11:15. We did not leave until about 6 o'clock, 6:30, because it was dusky and getting dark outside. And it was daylight savings time. So that lets you know. It was September. Yep, September the 15th. I think we still were in daylight savings time. Yep, we sure were. We were still in daylight savings time. The days were getting a little shorter, but we had not entered Eastern Standard Time when it gets dark at 5 o'clock. So that lets you know it was about 6 o'clock when we left. We had not eaten. Now, granted, we were not held there against our will. It was a very warm and engaging experience. But when we got outside and realized how long we had sat in there, we had some feelings about that. Okay. So with that in mind, we decided we were going to be prepared this time. So I Googled about what to expect, and we had our questions down pat and our no locked and loaded in case they tried to sell us something. Because one of the things we did find out by researching ahead of time is people said they're going to try to sell you an upgrade. Now, we were like, we haven't even used what we got. So our answer was going to not just be no, but hell to the no. Okay? So we had our no locked and loaded, but still we got blindsided. Still we got blindsided, y'all. We went the weekend of December 5th, 2025 through December 8th, 2025. It was a 4-day, 3-night at the Hinton Ocean Enclave property at Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. So we were feeling great. Oh, we come back for an orientation and we get to stay at the beautiful resort that we saw, that we wish we had stayed in instead of the other one. And again, if you go to my episode about the Doubletree Myrtle Beach location, then go see that and that'll tell you about that. Okay. So my husband and I attended our one-on-one meeting at the Myrtle Beach Ocean Enclave property. Despite the rainy weather, it was a lovely stay. Our 2-bedroom suite facing the ocean was top tier. Ahead of arriving, an events coordinator offered us 2 discounted opportunities for fine dining with other members. We chose the Saturday fine dining, followed by a popular Christmas show at the Carolina Opry. Transportation was provided. Great experience. We hit it off with 2 members, laughed and shared our membership journeys and experiences so far. They passed along some good advice that would help us later. Mainly, you're already a member. Your no does not change that. The second piece of advice was sign nothing. Okay? Now, when our orientation leader, Max, approached me, he was likable and professional. We engaged in light conversation and I felt comfortable. The glitch, however, that would come up repeatedly throughout the orientation was this meeting taking place later in the process than it should have. And even during our Q&A, another salesperson abruptly interrupted, sat down with immediacy, and told us there might have been a mistake made and the time frame for rectifying that mistake had expired. But for us not to worry, they could rewrite our contract, something like that. Now, of course, this disruption threw us off. But in retrospect, it was the perfect opening to the sales pitch. But it didn't go that way. I may not know much about the program, but I can put 2 and 2 together pretty quick. There was no way this was a mistake because the sales team at the initial presentation had to know the deadlines and the time frames when they scheduled our new member orientation. They had to know it was outside of whatever time frame we needed to have responded to whatever this mistake that they told us that was made happened, right? So at this point, things shifted. I expressed my frustration, looked at my husband and said, what the hell? And instead of understanding, we were met with condescent and gaslighting. So that salesperson that was really nice in the beginning changed. And he became kind of like, well, we told you it wasn't your fault, so why are we talking about this? I mean, it's a moot point. You didn't do anything wrong. So why are we talking about this? It was that kind of thing. I say this because politeness is a two-way street. And that's one of the things we just kept hearing everybody say. They're going to try to sell you, but be polite, this, that, and the third. But I say politeness is a two-way street. And at that point, he couldn't have convinced me of anything. Okay? But determined to get my questions answered, I powered through my displeasure, though things were clearly strained from that point on. The final straw, where my husband and I decided to go on and walk out and leave without the gift card. We were promised a $100 Visa gift card, was when we said we were ready to go. We told him we were ready to go. We had been there for 60 minutes, which is what we were told. He had told us to time him. We were at that point. We stood up, ready to go. And he said he would get a disclosure for us to sign that said they had offered to rectify or to resolve the matter, but we declined. And he'd give us our gift card. He said another person would facilitate that part and he would go get it. Now, we asked how much longer because we were told this orientation would only be 60 minutes. And that was all we agreed to. He said he didn't know. I asked if he could find out. He said that him going to find out to come back to tell us basically didn't make sense when somebody else was going to come back to us anyway. And he said to us, you can leave anytime you want to, but whether you go or stay, this other person's going to come back, right? So when he walked away, I looked at my husband and I said, I am ready to go. But I said, do you feel like staying here for this $100 Visa gift card is enough of a reason for us to wait indefinitely for somebody to come and give us a disclosure to sign when we didn't do anything wrong? So what are we signing? And for this gift card. My husband said, it is not that important to me. I said, it's not that important to me either. And we ended up walking out. Okay? And we continued to enjoy our stay. Because I want to say, I can't take anything away from the Ocean Enclave. It was a wonderful, wonderful property. Now, I must say it was a little misleading for it to say that they had an on-site restaurant when the on-site restaurant was a Starbucks and a sports bar. But other than that, wonderful place to stay. Okay. This is what I'll say. This is another part of what I added. FOMO, which stands for fear of missing out, is a sales tactic, but it is not a reality. That's what we found out. What was presented as a mistake, a limitation, them dropping the ball, it was their fault, but in this group, they would rectify and resolve it for us. What was presented as a missed opportunity, something that the other members have that we don't have, to get us to say yes. What was presented as that, having come back home and having more time to look at our contract more in depth and having clarifying conversations with the member services number that they give every owner, we realized that what we purchased will serve us just fine. And we were not losing anything from making the choice not to upgrade. Which, when they pitched it to us, they told us it would be like it would have boosted our membership to some like $38,000 or something like that. But they would be able to give it to us for just, I think, $12,000 more. And we looked at them and said, wait a minute, we've already paid for our membership. We've already paid for our membership. Because I said, unless you're able to resolve the mistake, making whatever adjustments you need to make to our contract without it costing us any more money, then this conversation don't need to happen. He said, looked at me like, of course, no, I can't promise you that. Like, of course, it's going to cost you more money. Because in their resolution of the mistake, I say in quotes, was to upgrade us. Because he told us that we weren't full-fledged members. They just gave us a starter membership with the understanding that we would upgrade to full membership. It's like they gave us something to start us off, almost like you're getting a starter home, but it's only you're not meant to stay in that home. You're meant to upgrade to your dream home or whatever other property. It was almost like that. But this was just to get you in the door. This was just a starter. You're not really a full-fledged member. It's what we were told. So I'm sitting there kind of pissed because I'm like, wait a minute, what? What is this? What are you telling us? What's going on here? And he would drop little bombs like that. Then when I would press, then he start resorting to being condescending, gaslighting, that kind of thing, goading me into using up my time to argue with him instead of getting my questions answered. It kind of felt like that, right? And I'm just like, no. We're not doing this. We're not gonna do this. Even though I was livid, I still had my questions. I was so glad I had them listed, because if I hadn't had them listed, I would not have even known where to start, how to resume the conversation. And he would have just sat in there with this smug look on his face, right? So my goal, and this is the end of my post. My goal in sharing is not to disparage the value of the membership, but to make you aware of sales tactics that could make you second guess if you're not prepared. There is a new member journey team that the member services person that I talked with said would answer my questions without trying to sell to me. I have not reached out yet, but I will. I'll let you know how that goes. Because in the background, even after we left this orientation meeting, there was somebody who kept calling. And we thought that it would probably be somebody from that sales team trying to call us and, we're sorry, schmooze things over a little bit, but still try to sell us. And I just won't have it. So I didn't pick up. Well, after I talked to somebody in member services, and she gave such an in-depth, you may as well say she gave us a training. Every question that did not get answered at the orientation vacation, she answered it and invited me to ask more questions. She was very clear. She was very knowledgeable. She didn't rush me. She was so kind. She broke it down. She had me write things down. She was fantastic. And so when I gave her the name of the person, his name being Jason, she said, oh yeah, because she checked on it. When I told her about my experience at the orientation vacation, she put us on hold. Excuse me. She checked to make sure that this new member journey team member group that she was getting ready to refer me out to get my questions answered was not going to try to sell to me. She found that information out. She assured us that they were guys, that the people there that really to help new members. And I said, well, is the person's name Jason? She said, oh yeah, Jason's one of them. I said, well then I'll call him back, because that's probably what he's trying to do. But I assumed he was one of those salespeople from that orientation vacation, and I wasn't interested in talking to anybody. Well, I called him back. And when I called him back, sadly, the reason he was calling me was to talk to me about getaways. That might be another conversation, because I still don't quite understand what a getaway is about, except for it's an opportunity for new members to earn rental income from, I guess, I don't know, but it's just an opportunity to earn rental income. That's the most that I know about it. I wasn't interested in it. So until I am interested in it, or somebody tries to sell it to me and it perks me to kind of deep dive and find out about it, I won't do an episode on that, because I don't have enough experiential knowledge to share. And I think you get more from people who aren't just regurgitating something they've been told, but they're able to share with you experiences and the clarification that they received. I think you get more benefit from those kind of reviews than you do from somebody just reading off a page what somebody else said, right? So I wanted to just share with you my thoughts, and without disclosing anybody, because part of being in the group is you cannot share what people in the group are posting and that kind of thing. I will say that what I experienced was not uncommon. It might have been shared in a different way, a different approach. Some salespeople are very charming, and they charm you into it, and they're kind, and they make you feel like they're really trying to help you, and it's going to really be beneficial to you. Then others can act like asses, and be condescending and whatever, and put doubts in your mind and make you feel like you're missing out on something, and that lingers with you, so the next time you approached, you might be more open or more vulnerable to being sold something. I think sometimes salespeople want to get an emotional reaction. It doesn't matter to them whether they get an angry reaction or oh, thank you so much, you saved me reaction. They know that as long as you're a member, at some point, somebody else is going to help you upgrade, or somebody else is going to talk to you, or they're going to have somebody else come in that maybe they didn't sell to you, but they might sell to the next person coming in. They'll just keep it going. And sadly, because people are not prepared, that fear of missing out thing is a sales tactic that gets used because it works over and over and over again. If they can plant in your mind that somebody else is benefiting in a way that you're not, that somebody else is having something that you don't have, and as a result of you not having it, you being left out, you're not having the best that you could have, you're not in the know. If they can plant that in your mind and keep planting that in your mind, they know at some point they got you. And I'm not against upgrading. but it's got to benefit me, and it's got to be worth things monetarily. And I'm the kind of person, and I said this to Max, the person that we were talking to at the vacation orientation meeting, at the orientation vacation meeting. I said to him, we've just become owners. And I'm not the kind of person that's going to buy something or upgrade when I don't even, sight unseen, when I don't even know yet the value of it yet. And he literally sat there and told me, he said, no, that's not true. He said, because you became a member sight unseen. I'm telling you, he kept working on my last good nerve, y'all. But I was like, I'm not going to fall for it. I said, but you know what? I said, you know what? We don't have to talk about that because, as you said, there's no reason to talk about that. Let's just keep the main thing. Because I knew he was goating me when he said that. That's not true. Because you became a member sight unseen. And I thought to myself, no, there was an actual presentation and there was an actual tour. So I felt like I knew what I was getting. You're one telling me that what I got was not sufficient and I need to upgrade. I don't know that what I got is insufficient yet. I don't know. I haven't even tried it. I don't even know. I haven't even booked a reservation yet. I'm still learning about this, but yet you want to go on and have me sign up for an upgrade when I barely understand the membership? But you know what? I'll say that to y'all. I wouldn't say it to him because then again, we would have had back and forth, and the few questions that he did answer would not have gotten answered. He did answer enough that when I talked to member services later, they gave me even more clarity. And I found out, listen, what he said, some things were true, some things were not true. Will folk lie? Yes, they will. And they will say, well, technically, no, I didn't lie because this, that, and the third. No, if you say something to mislead somebody, you are lying. If you mislead, you are lying. There is no technically in it. So if you sell to me and you misled me, then you lied to me. Now, do I see value in my membership? Absolutely. I am excited about my membership. I am excited about the opportunities that having talked to the person in member services opened up for me. I am so excited about it. So excited about it. And as I continue to learn, I will continue to post things about travel so that it can help those of you who might need help. I also will continue to post about travel to places that I've gone, to other properties that I've stayed at, because I am a legit travel agent, as well as a Hilton Vacation Club member owner. I am a travel agent. I prefer to go by travel advisor, travel concierge, travel consultant, because agents simply book you. I like sharing information. I like sharing information that can be beneficial to people who are past a certain age, who want to travel and might find travel intimidating. My goal is to break it down so that you can travel. You can check things off your bucket list. I call it my living list because I ain't kicking no bucket. I call it my living list. so that we can get out and have motivation and incentive to travel. And if there's one thing becoming a Hilton Vacation Club owner has done for me and my husband, it has made us more intentional about travel. It's made us more intentional about planning our travel. It's made us more intentional about meeting our deadlines. And me, a mathematician, I have a mathematician background, an accounting, bookkeeping background. You know I'm staying on top of these deadlines. I'm staying on top of these points. I need to know the ins and outs of things. And I will try to share it with as much specificity as I can so that you understand things at a deeper level. That's why I want this review to be very, very clear. So again, not poo-pooing on being a member. So far, I am excited about the possibilities, about what's ahead of us, about the opportunities that are opening for us. I am loving that part. It's the sales part of it that you have to be prepared. You have to be very clear about what your bottom line is. You have to be very familiar with what you've already received. Get clarity around that first before you upgrade to anything would be the advice that I would give you. Be prepared. Become a part of these Facebook groups. Get connected with other owners that have nothing to lose by telling you the truth. Right? Before you upgrade, let the decision to upgrade in whatever way is offered to you be something that helps elevate your vision and your goal for travel. Okay? Let it serve you. Let it be worth the investment to you, not somebody talking you into it and you don't really understand the value of what you've received. Because I can tell you there are people who have been told certain things that got the upgrade and found out it was not what they were told by the salespeople. So make sure that when you go into these sales presentations, you know exactly what it is you want. And I will share more because one of the things that I am exploring right now is the benefits of being a Hilton Honors Gold or Diamond. I think it's Diamond now. I know it's silver, gold. It might have used to been platinum, but I think it's diamond or something like that. Anyway, where being a member, a tiered member, not just a basic Hilton Honors member, but that you've achieved certain milestones that have caused you to level up with Hilton Honors. I'm weighing out the benefits because I'm a Hilton Honors Gold member. Weighing that out with the incentives and benefits affordable to me as a Hilton Honors member, weighing that against being a Hilton Grand Vacations Club member, a Hilton Grand Vacations Max owner, weighing those two personalities within the Hilton umbrella, weighing those out to see in what ways they're beneficial. And the more I understand about it, I will talk about it in a future episode, because that's also something that I would suggest that you understand. Because depending on your travel goals, you may find that you're being served just fine as a Hilton Honors member. Okay? So you may find that to be true. So I say, do your due diligence, know what you already have, get clear about that before you decide to upgrade. And I feel like if you do it that way and it'll be on your terms, you will feel better going forward. You will not feel like you got played. You will not feel like you got scammed. You will not feel like you got taken for granted. So yeah. So that's what I wanted to say about this. And please feel free to share any comments that you have, any clarifications that you have. If you have questions, if I don't know the answer, I'll find out for you. Again, I don't get any benefit from telling you to join that Facebook group. I'm suggesting it to you because it was so very helpful, or is being so helpful to me as an owner to be able to interact with other owners as we share experiences and tips and ways to navigate to get the most bang for your investment. Yeah, so please feel free to share. If you like the content that I'm putting out, please like, share, subscribe. The benefits of subscribing is you get notified, hit that bell, you get notified when new episodes drop. And I will talk to you more in the next episode. Okay? Take care now. Bye.